One. Blocked.
Welcome to Contour Image, where I help you build confidence through your image. And today we are going to be talking about the lash industry. Now, I know there's a lot of talk about the lash industry and how they believe it's going out of business, but I really actually do believe that I think that I have more information about why there are problems, and not that it's actually going out of style. It is mainly due to other situations which we'll discuss in this video. Before we get into today's information, I wanted to talk a little bit quickly. For those of you who know who I am or have been watching my channel, it has been a long time since I have uploaded a video, and I'm really, really sorry about that. I will tell you maybe in another video what has been going on and why it's been very difficult for me to stay active on my channel. But my plan is to really stay active at this point, starting this next new year in 2025. And so I will, like I said, give you another video on what's going on, updating you on what's happened and what has changed and where things are going at this moment. So for now though, let's just dive right into our information.
So it has been like a couple months since I gotten my lashes done, and I've been doing kind of strip lashes, and I've, to be honest, kind of enjoyed not having lashes all the time. I do a pretty extensive skincare routine, so it's nice to kind of have everything out of the way. But I couldn't be without my lash girl for that long. So I finally got them done again, but I got them done kind of different, kind of more wispy. I don't know how I feel about it. I don't. I like them in pictures, but then when I look at myself in the mirror, I do feel like they look kind of a lot. I don't know. Or maybe I'm just influenced right now, since like I feel like lash extensions are kind of coming out of style. Or maybe I just need to do a new style or something. I'm not sure.
The girls want to know why the lash industry is dying. So let's go ahead and put it into some numbers. Depending on where you are, a lash set can run from $150 to $200. And then you have to get it maintained every 2 weeks. That's another $100 to $150. Depending on what your set was, your initial set was, that's how much the field can cost. So if we're in Miami and my base set was $150 and then my field is $100, I'm already at $250 for the month. Now let's consider what bills I can pay with that $250. I can pay my light bill and my internet bill for $250. I can pay my car insurance for $250. I can pay my phone bill and put some gas in my car with $250. I can put groceries in my house with $250. You see all of the things that I can do that I need to do with $250? And then let's be honest, some of y'all skill sets do not match your prices. Y'all doing people lashes and they falling out within 3 days by the handful. And then you telling them it's past the grace period, they got to book a field now. Y'all burning people's eyes, burning their corneas out of their face. They got to go to the hospital after they get their lashes done by you. Now they got to pay a $3,000 hospital bill. That doesn't make sense. It's not adding up. So I'm going to take my $250. I'm going to take $15 out of that, get me a lash cluster set, and they're going to last the same amount of time for literally a fraction of a 16th of the cost. I'm good, baby. I'm good.
So yeah, obviously a lot of people might be thinking that the lash industry is going out mostly due to people just not being able to afford it as much. Prices have risen on everything, including definitely insurance on anything from your car, your house, mortgage, whatever. And so a lot of people think that maybe they can't really afford it, but that's not always the case. While people are having to drop out due to not being able to actually afford it. In fact, I think a lot of these people could never truly really afford these costs of lashes. I actually have my own personal view on the lashes, on extensions. And so I just don't really think that they're really worth, I never really thought they were ever worth a penny. And maybe I'll discuss that a little bit later in this video. Maybe you're someone who does like them and has been going to someone who does your lashes and everything. But this whole video I'm going over is going to be kind of discussing the whole scope of why this is kind of happening. And going back to the beginning of my video before I opened up and said hello, I did mention, I showed one girl in there that was like, you know, the lash industry is going out, and she was like crying, right? She's like, the reason why there was no volume on some of these is because they have music in the back that either is, or I'm not even sure is, copywritten. And including this next one is, I believe, doesn't have any music, but it does have her writing the information on there so that we can kind of get an idea of what she's talking about. All right, so she says, client has been over 5 weeks and lashes still look good. Could I just book for a fill? So obviously, if you either are a lash tech or you are someone who gets lashes done, you know what a fill is. But for those of you who may not know and just are looking for the information just as curiosity, a fill is when it's kind of like you've done your lashes before and there are just some that have fallen out and you just need to kind of just fill some in. But what happens with the natural lashes is after about 3 weeks or so, like there's different times of when hair grows. So hair grows in 3 stages, and that is, I believe, anagen, catagen, and telogen, I think is what it is. It's been such a long time, I haven't even researched that. I just remember that, and I believe that's the phrase, but they grow in 3 stages. So whenever hairs are at the process of growing and being done growing out and falling out, other ones are in the process of being in the center of, in their middle of their stage of growing, while other ones are just peeking through, and the cycle just keeps continuing. And that happens with our lashes. All the hair on our body does the same thing. So what happens is naturally just lashes just fall out like as your natural lash, because it's done growing, it's old, and the body is shedding it off. So what happens with some of those lashes is that they're gonna fall off, and you're gonna have like these gaps in between your lashes. So that's what they call a fill, is just to kind of do that. However, what happens is you're gonna see in this video, she's gonna say no, because most of them, as you can see here in this video that we're gonna be doing right here, is because that her lashes, you can see that they have grown out. The fake lash that she has glued onto the lash line is already like grown out, and the lash is growing. So she's saying no, you're gonna have to basically completely do a whole new set. Now the thing is about a fill is it's like about, I don't know, give or take half the price compared to paying for a full set. And this is one of the reasons why I really didn't care about the lash thing. They're very expensive to get done, but they're never going to be permanent, ever. They can't be. You know, they're fake, and your lashes just naturally grow out. So, but the other thing I want to mention is, if you remember looking at the lashes, and I'll see if I can put it right back up here for you, you don't even see the glue. This is a good technique of how to do lashes. The glue is almost like not there at all. And so and they're very well spaced out and spread out, and her eyelashes are very clean. Now that has a lot to do with also how someone takes care of their lashes, which I'll go through again even more so, but then also just the person, the lash tech, how well her skill is. And this woman, what we just saw, was very well done. She does her lashes very, very well. And keep that in mind, because I am going to go through some other juicy ones here soon.
I've seen a lot of videos today on my For You page about the lash industry and how it's dying, and I want to give my 2 cents on why I don't get my lashes done anymore, and it's not because of price. I started getting lashes when I was 17. I'm 24 now and just have decided to get them taken off. I'm currently rehabbing my lashes, and they're actually growing in pretty nicely. Lash lady that I went to, I love her, and in fact, since I've stopped getting them, I haven't regretted my decision, but I just missed my time that I used to spend with her. She never changed her prices with me because I just became a regular VIP client of hers, and she wanted to honor her same prices that she had with me from the beginning. First reason for getting them off is because I've gotten them for so long, my lashes became so brittle that when I would go for fills, they would not last that long anymore because I barely had any lashes for them to hold on to. And I hear a lot of arguments about how maybe it was the technique that my lash lady was using or the type of product, but I mean, I've talked to many women who have gotten lashes from different lash artists. They have different lash techniques, they went to school at different times, they use different products, and like, these things are not healthy for your eyelashes overall. It doesn't matter the difference in product that you're using. The second reason was convenience/inconvenience. So in the beginning, you get lashes because it's the convenient thing to do. You just wake up and then you don't have to even put on mascara. You don't really have to get ready. You're already ready, which is nice. But in recent years, it's kind of become inconvenient for me to go and sit in an hour-long appointment every 2 weeks. I had to bump my appointments up every week eventually. There's also the inconvenience of your lashes having gaps in them. I'd like go 2 weeks, or sometimes I couldn't make it in for a fill, and I just wouldn't even want to show my face if I had gaps in my lashes. I was so insecure about how my lashes looked at all times, and it prevented me from going places if they didn't look perfect. I would literally apologize for my appearance if they looked terrible due to me not having gone in for a while. And my third reason is that I just kind of think they're going a little bit out of style. I know that as I am getting older, I'm not really in my college phase anymore, or like going out phase. I don't really value being ready all the time. I value comfort. And sometimes, it can get really uncomfortable to have your eyelashes on. You just kind of want to like rub your eyes and just be your true self without any makeup or any things added onto your face. That kind of goes back to the convenience and inconvenience of having them is, you don't get to decide to just like be free of them. You have to go in and get them taken off and then get them put back on when you're ready. I think people are just really valuing a more natural look these days. I know I am, but like I said, it still kind of makes me sad that I don't get to go in for those appointments anymore, because I really do cherish my relationship with the lady that did my lashes. We're really good friends, and we're really involved in each other's lives now. But I do see cost playing a big factor in why people aren't getting them done anymore. Inflation is crazy right now, and people kind of have to pick what they need to sacrifice in order to get by.
So a lot of the times what she said, there's a lot of reasons why. Again, it's not just, again, the money, it's also the convenience. It was convenient to be able to wake up in the morning and just not do your lashes. But I know they spend time on their makeup, but they don't have to, I don't know, that one little bit was, I guess it saved her 2 seconds every morning. But for some people, I guess, that's what they value. But let me tell you, there is a whole lot of work that you have to do when you get lashes. And some of you I know for a fact will agree with me, where others, you may not even know because you've never done them. And she says they're going out of style. And again, I think it's just because of like the things that she's talking about, the time it takes to go and get one done. It can take, an hour and a half. If it's a full set that you have to do, which is also a lot more money, of course. You gotta prioritize your time. And I am also making another video too, where I'll be talking about called beauty fatigue. And we'll also talk about a little bit more, which also, which also helps tie into this as well. So we're just gonna keep going with this video, and we'll just keep going through it.
The girls want to know why the lash industry is dying.
So way back in from 2018 to 2022, I was an avid lash girl, and I was living predominantly on the West Coast because I was stationed out there. My set with this lady who lived in Barstow, California, I think her full set was under $200, and it was a volume set, okay? And I loved her work. It was just absolutely phenomenal. My lashes were done to the gods. And her refill for these volume hybrid lashes, the touch up every 2 weeks, and I used to see her religiously, was $60. Over time, she increased her prices, but because I was so consistent with my visits with her, she went ahead and did not increase my price of my lashes. Then I got orders to move to South Carolina. And of course, naturally, I was like, it's time for me to go get a fill on my lashes. So I go and I look for a good reputable spot. I was looking at the reviews, and I stumbled upon this, salon. When I researched the price of these lashes, the cost for a volume touch-up was about $250. And you know what? I was kind of like, I am on the East Coast now. Maybe these are just East Coast prices. I'm going to go ahead and give this lady a try and just see how it goes. Now, mind you, she was just doing a fill. And to be perfectly honest with you, I had only had 30 to 40% of my lash loss with the, in comparison to the old lady that I was going to since I had moved. So I was like, okay, let's go ahead and do it. Y'all, I spent over $200 on a volume fill. And let me tell you, that fill was absolutely horrible. First of all, the skill was just not there. Like, okay, maybe I just got a little bit spoiled from my old lash lady. But then what really took me over the edge was the fact that I lost about 35 to 40% of what she had done with the proper lash care. Your girl was doing like the whole lash shampoo and the whole brushing. I was not one of them girls walking around with dirty, nasty lashes.
Yeah.
All in all, I needed another fill in less than 10 freaking days. I don't know if it was the Carolina humidity or poor technique, but I'm just going to defer to poor technique. It was definitely not worth the money. So I went ahead, and as I started to look at other options, I stumbled upon a product that I figured was completely worth a try, because there was no way I was going back to spending $200 some odd for fills, $400 some odd for a full set that was not staying up. Okay, who has that kind of money to waste on experimenting on finding the right lash lady? Absolutely ridiculous. So I found out about Lashify, and no, this is not sponsored content. I found out about Lashify, and I decided to give it a try. And y'all, I have not looked back since. Like, come on. Like, these are absolutely gorgeous. And ever since I got the initial kit, I have spent, on average, maybe $85 a month just on my cluster lashes. And every once in a while, I have to get some new bond and new sealer. But yeah, this is why the lash industry is dying. Not only is it crazy expensive, but a lot of places charge hand over fist, especially when there's no competition. So yeah, I won't be seeing a lash lady again, unless it's the lash lady that I had in Barstow. Lash ladies won't be seeing me, not ever again. I'm gonna stick to my Lashify.
That's part of it, is definitely the skill, the lack of skill. There are some girls who are very good and take it very seriously. They've spent their time, they've done their learning and everything, and they want to make sure that they make a good product and service for their clients. And that is a good lash tech. For these other girls that we will be talking about shortly, they do not have the same standard. In many times, it's just, you know, I know everyone wants to make a quick buck, but you know, the real skill, the ones that are going to really survive, are those who are consistent and who do a good job and who know how to have business etiquette, really, customer service kind of thing. They're on time, they're not late, they always make the customer and client feel great and welcomed, and those people leave happy. And guess what? More than likely, if you did a good job too, as far as the actual technique and the skill, they're going to come back. So it is not because simply just because people can't afford it. Like she said, who has the time or the money? It's the money mainly for her, I think, to go and find a lash tech that has the skill. And so she's just reverting to just getting lashes and doing them herself. As you could see, she was just doing her own lashes. And a lot of people are doing the DIY kind of deal, and they're doing that with everything from nails, lashes, brows, probably hair too. I'm not really sure. I know people have always kind of done that too, but there are some things you don't really want to mess with, but with like what she's doing right now, it's working for her, and she'd rather spend a few extra minutes doing it every day.
So I keep seeing videos about why the lash industry is dying, and as a consumer, I will tell you, and this has nothing to do with people putting their own lashes on at home. Not only are the prices ridiculous, but the tipping culture is getting out of control. And I will tell you with a personal story. I got my lashes done maybe like 4 weeks ago. They're in desperate need of a refill. And I went to this new place and I got the premium silk lashes. The service was $150. That's fine. I'm willing to pay for it. I know what the price is. I'm going for the price. So when I went to pay, I paid $50 in cash, and then I paid $100 in card and put the 20% tip on my card. So that means that I put $20 in tip on my card. So overall, I paid $170. When I left the place, I received a text asking from the place if I was sure that I wanted to put only the 20% towards the $100 that I put on my card, and it wasn't that I wanted to put it towards the whole $150. And I'm like, yeah, I'm tipping $20. That's how much I'm tipping. Whatever. Didn't think much of it.
when I go to book my refill, I'm having a hard time booking the appointment online. It keeps giving me an error. And something in my brain told me to try with a different email, and I did, and the appointment went through. So that means that they blocked me from scheduling online because, I don't know, I tipped $20 on a $150 service. Which already, I feel like that's a decent enough tip, but the price is already up there. And I don't understand, like, if you're charging $150, your employee should be getting a cut of that $150 service. Like, how much are you paying them that your employee is only relying on their customer tips? So the reason that your businesses are dying is greed. Honestly, it's greed. At the end of the day, like, people do not have money to afford these things, and do not expect me to tip way extra on top of a service that you're already charging an exorbitant amount of money for. Because, you know, if they actually told me, like, hey, the lashes cost $180 and you don't have to tip, I would more likely book that service than knowing that I have to pay extra money on top of that. I should not be the one having to pay your employees at the end of the day. You should. Stop being greedy, charge reasonable prices, understand that we are basically in a recession. People who can afford your services will pay for your services, but do not dupe us into paying for your employees.
So that's the other thing. I've discussed a little bit that it's not just they can't afford it or any of that, it's also the customer service. And I have seen a lot of businesses and a lot of information that primarily the beauty industry, not every cosmetologist, lash tech, esthetician, or whatever is like this, but there seems to be a lot of beauty industry technicians or whatever that are expecting a tip. And I do believe that when someone has spent the time on you and has done their job, and it's personal, you know, it is a tipping culture. This is like, hey, thanks for your great work. I appreciate you. I want to do business with you again. And I really appreciate that. But to just expect it is not a good business standard. And the other thing about it is the tip is supposed to reflect the service, how well you did. Now, some people, like she said, she was just planning, regardless of the price, she was just going to give you a $20. I'm a kind of person that generally likes to tip 20%. That's always kind of been my thing, because I always feel like 20% means good job, thank you so much. Usually that is anything with, if you're serving me as a waiter or like as a server, obviously skincare, massages, or any of these other beauty things or anything, I've always kind of believed in 20%. Now, very rarely, I think it's happened only 2 times in my entire life when I've gone out to eat and the service was so bad. It was so bad that I still tipped, but I gave like $2 or something. Like, it reflects back to how bad you did. I have done serving before. I do not like it. And I have experienced bad situations as well. And so sometimes I know it's not always on the server, sometimes they're overwhelmed. Maybe it's a busy time, whatever. I understand that, but at the same time, it does have to reflect on service and how well a person did and how really your experience in this case, especially with the beauty industry. So 20% I always feel is like top notch. Now, I know since the whole deal with the pandemic, we're seeing things like going up to like, what is it, 22, 24, 25% and beyond. And it's 35, I think I've seen before. And it's like, excuse me, this is called a tip. This is just the icing on the cake. You know, servers, it's a little different because they're not making minimum wage at all. They are simply being paid far lower, and their tips are covering their bills. That's why it's a little different in the food industry, and that's why I said I've only had that happen twice, where it was just horrible. So it was like, okay, I'll give you your tip, but it's reflecting it for sure. But to expect it to be like, oh, more than that, because somehow you think you deserve it, that's extreme entitlement, and that's just not okay. And this is where the industry is going. Not for everyone, not for every professional, but there's a lot of beauty people that do stuff, and they're just like expecting the world to come knocking at their door, and that people should just pay them $1 bazillion to do one job on them. but yet they can give you the most lousiest service, whether it's the experience or the actual job itself, or both. And it's just gone way out of control.
Have any of you girls taken off your fake lashes recently and are just obsessed with your natural?
Obsessed.
Because, hi, that is me. I am obsessed with it. And I never thought that I would say that because I was a lash girly. I was a lash girly all the way. I was obsessed with them. I was doing them for years. So I decided to take them off a few days ago, and I'm loving it. Loving it to a point where I don't even want to put on like a strip lash. I kind of want to just rock this look. And I actually can't wait for my lashes to get back in shape because now they need a little help, but my real lashes are actually pretty good. I've been using castor oil and a lash serum, so I'm excited for that. But let me tell you, if you've been contemplating taking off your lashes, use this as a sign. You are going to love it. It just feels like so free as well. And you know what's one of the best part is when you're washing your face and you get to actually like rub your eyes and get all of the makeup off. Literally the best feeling. So lashes are out. Save yourself some money. Go with the natural look. You'll love it.
Yeah, that's the other thing about getting lashes is you can't live normally in a sense. I think people are finding reason to love what they've been naturally given to some extent now. Like she's explaining like, oh, now I just love them. Simply because she just doesn't want to pay the money for it. And as she said, it's just nice to just kind of be able to rub and wipe off and get all the makeup off rather than being like so picky when you're trying to clean your, take all the makeup off.
She got really defensive and said that her old lash tech would infill them, but she's off sick. I told her I'm not her old lash tech and I can't infill these, and that I'm going to remove them for her safety. She wouldn't let me touch them and walked out and sent a message saying I'm a terrible lash tech.
A lot of them, like her lashes look gross. So that's the other thing. You have to clean your lashes and you have to clean them, with a special cleanser, and you have to use like a spoolie, it's a tool of a spool, and do all this stuff. Now, when I first saw this video, I thought, oh my gosh, they're so freaking dirty. And in a sense they are. But a lot of that was also her makeup, because I was looking at her skin on that, where her, makeup, the eyeshadow or something. But those were caked. Those were totally caked. That's why she's like, no, I need to take these off. So sometimes a lot of these women, when they have problems, when they put on their lashes or gotten their lashes done, and then it's time to kind of get a fill or whatever it is, they go to these other, like their normal lash tech, I don't know, she's booked, she can't bring them in that day or that week because she's so booked. So they'll go to someone else just as the temporary, because maybe she was available at that time, but she's like a professional who gives a crap about her services and her technique. And you can just tell on it, she's like, oh my gosh, they're so, like, you didn't take care of them, and she didn't take care of them. She's just, a lot of these people, they don't take care of what they're paying for. And then here's this girl right here that will just kind of explain a little bit about what happens when, I don't know, maybe you've done lashes just too long for your body, or you're not properly taking care of them, and this is just what's gonna be what happens. And again, you can't hear it because there's music. Her lashes fell out, like all of them. Not just the fake ones, but I think her real ones actually fell out on that one. She has no lashes. This is another problem too. Don't do services after lashes. And in this case, don't do this at all if you have lashes. That you've just undone all the work. They all came off. Sometimes I just feel like all these girls just have all this money, because I don't think some of these girls are even paying for it. It's like they've got daddy or boyfriend doing it for them. But I mean, again, I can't, maybe it is their hard work, earned money, but I almost feel like they're just kind of frivolous with their money. That was very frivolous. Like, the lash tech, I'm sure, tells them, or should be telling them, again, this could be part of the professionalism in their services, is they tell them things like, you can't just, don't get services after, especially you can't put steam on your lashes. it will deteriorate the glue and they're just gonna fall off. In this case, this girl had a mask literally put on to her lashes, to her entire face. That's okay, that's what you do with those masks, those are fine. But the problem is well, it stuck to her lashes and then it just like, and she also had steam on her face and everything, that's why it just lifted off so easy. It wasn't like she was pulling at them or ripping them out. They pulled up because she got them super wet. There's probably some kind of oils or something in that mask. And she's probably had a lot of steam. So it basically prepped them to leave the skin entirely. And now she's just wasted $150, $200, $250, whatever on her lashes. And now they're all gone. Now she's gonna have to go get an entire set rather than just a fill now. Here's the other issue.
This is for my girls that wear lash extensions, y'all. I got this on a TikTok shop and I've been wearing it every single night since I got my lashes done, and I haven't gotten not one refill. Y'all, I got my lashes done last month and I haven't gotten not one refill. I don't know about y'all, but I be paying like $200 to get my lashes done, and I'll be waking up the next morning and there be lashes on a pillow. Lashes is too expensive for them to be falling out, y'all. Get y'all one if y'all wear lashes. Y'all gonna save so much money.
That's what you have to do. You have to buy pillows. The professional women lash techs who are doing the lashes, they're giving you good lashes, they're giving you what you want to, and in some cases, some of them only do more natural looking lashes. They're not gonna do some of these other ones we're gonna talk about later. But you have to live a little differently from what you normally can with your regular normal lashes. When I was at school, as an esthetician, we can be a lash tech. We just have to go to the classes because we do have a license to work on people, touching their face and everything else. And here, my teacher, who was very knowledgeable, had a lot of experience of the aesthetic world and the whole beauty thing. I was very fortunate to have her as my aesthetic teacher. And she would say, yeah, but with these, you have to sleep on a different pillow. You can't just go and take a hot shower because the steam will deteriorate the glue that they just put on your lashes. You can't go into hot tubs or anything because of the steam and everything. She was making it sound like, you know, I just had this idea and I would just wear a sleep mask. And now I don't have lashes on my pillow. And it's like, the lash tech should have been teaching and telling you all this. You should have known about this. Because you cannot sleep on your lashes because they won't bend properly on the pillow. So they sell these pillows so that you can still sleep like on the side of your face or whatever you want to do, but it's not going to disrupt or bend the lashes because that will bend them off. They will break off. And then it's like, what's the point? And then like she said, she had them all over her pillow. Now she's like, I don't have them all over my pillow. And it's like, well, you should have known that well before, like at least by your first service that you've ever had. But again, a lot of these techs, I think part of it is that the unprofessional techs who don't do it properly, and we're going to see some horror stories here, or some horror lashes, I should say, and pretty soon here, and they want you to just come back to keep getting more and more fills because it feeds their pocket, because they're not professional. They're not about like, all right, now you gotta, you know, I want you to do this, you need to do that, that'll keep them longer. I want to see you back. I want to see you happy, you know, things like that. No, they just want you to hopefully throw your money away to come back and throw them more money, you know. So anyway, that's just the idea here. So we have to use pillows.
I swear I felt something scratching my eyeball. I thought it was an extension. I thought an extension fell in my eye. I kept looking and then I decided to check my waterline. And if you can see, there's a tiny, light, fine, natural lash just sitting on my waterline. So when I close, it was like scratching my eyeball. Or when I would just blink, I could feel it. So this has happened to you. Just check your waterline and see.
Yeah, that's the other thing. If they miss a lash, that can happen. It just pushes the natural one down, and then you're just scratching your cornea, which is not worth the beauty. I'm just gonna tell you straight up, you can scratch it so many times that you can do permanent damage, and now you're gonna have to have eye surgery, and who knows, it's gonna be expensive all of a sudden.
I'm gonna tell you the real reason why the lash tech industry is dying, and they going back to their 9 to 5. Number one, customer service. They was doing way too much for way too little, but still charging you $150 per fill-in, per install. $150 was the minimum. $150.
By the way, you have to get new lashes or a fill at least or something every about 3 weeks minimum. because a lot of those lashes have already fallen out naturally. Just even if you're taking care of them, you've been sleeping right, you haven't been going to saunas and all that stuff that'll steam, your lashes have grown out. So you will be needing at least a fill about every 3 weeks. So twice a month, you're paying for these services. And like she said, kind of the minimum is 100, what'd she say, 150? That's a horrible, so like 2 times a month, you're spending minimum about $300 just on your lashes.
Then you would show up to your appointment. I'm only speaking from experience because I have not had the best experience with lash techs. You would show up for your appointment, and if you were late, they would charge you a fee. But if they were late, you would just have to wait your butt in the car and get no money off the tab. Then
unprofessionalism.
You wait patiently, get your lashes done, whatever. You get in the car, blink, I see one fall off.
Bad technique.
What's going on? The lashes literally last for about 20 minutes before they start falling. Okay? I'm going to sleep. I wake up, it's lashes on my pillow.
Well, you shouldn't have that because you should be sleeping on the right pillow.
And then the glue that they would be using I would wake up and my eyes would be burning, like literally burning. And the icing on the cake is me learning how to do my lashes at home. So now that I know how to, I'm finna do them, I don't need you no more. There's no $150 fee I gotta pay. There ain't no deposit I gotta pay. I just go in the bathroom and I do what length I want.
So a lot of them are just, again, going home and doing it. They're just done paying the money and then seeing that, what's the point? But they're not being properly educated. She should be on a different pillow, eye mask, whatever, to help save them. And like she said, if she's blinking and like all of a sudden there's a lash, that should not be happening. You need to go find a different lash tech if that's what's going on with your experience of product that you're getting.
Y'all, I forgot why I stopped getting lash extensions. A few years ago, I used to go get my lashes done because I thought that it was a look. Okay, I thought I was serving. 2 weeks ago, I actually went on a cruise, so I wanted to book a lash appointment because who has time to be applying false lashes every day on your cruise, okay? So I went to the appointment. The girl was really sweet. She was bringing the vibe. She had music. She made conversation with me, and her prices were very affordable. And so I was feeling it. She showed me the little mirror to see my lashes, and I was absolutely in love with them. I'll show y'all a picture. Like, she did an amazing job. I was like, why did I stop getting my lashes done? This morning, I woke up and realized why I stopped going to get lash extensions. Because as the days go by and more fall off, you start looking crazy, okay? Like, your lashes will start flipping and doing tricks. I was talking to someone today and felt my eyelash drooping down, and it fell off in front of them. And then I look at my actual eyelashes and realize that they're all coming off with the fake lashes.
Again, I don't know if that's because it was lack of technique or she just maybe accidentally forgot and put something on her skin there that just deteriorated the glue, because they should not all be just chunking, falling off, you know? So, and that would be embarrassing. All of a sudden, like she said, this whole group of them were just becoming really heavy and are like, oh, while she's talking to somebody, they just fall. That would be very embarrassing.
I've been waiting for the girls to talk about this. Why did you leave your lash tech, and why do lash techs feel like the lash industry is dying? And as somebody who is a former lash tech who does social media marketing now for people in the lash industry, here are my 2 cents. Every client you lost has said, I cannot justify paying the price. And I feel like the first mistake that a lot of lash techs make is thinking that their only competitors is Susie down the block, okay? And it's not. It's DIY lash lashes. Let's be real. It's affordable, convenient, fast. Nobody's paying a squeeze-in fee. You do it on your own time, and sometimes it lasts just as long as people's lash retention. That is so hard to beat. I'm gonna take it a step further. In the beauty industry in total, not just lash techs, I feel like customer service experience is just not a thought. As in, you guys are all money hungry, and it shows. And I get it, it's your source of income, this is your job, your career. This is also what you signed up for. Because it's not a necessity, it's a luxury. And don't even get me wrong, I'm all for being bad and bougie on a budget, but I'm also the same person that will come back if you give me a reason to come back. And if I don't come back, I will tell somebody to go to you. Everybody already been known that lash extensions is a luxury thing. The question is how do you make it luxury?
So the lash techs want to know why the girls are not booking lash appointments like they used to. Pull up a chair, because I'm about to tell y'all everything that I would do as a lash tech to be booked and busy in the year 2024. There's a market for everything as long as you know how to market, so just listen, okay? First things first, I would not offer classic, hybrid, and volume sets. I will be doing custom sets, and I'm about to show y'all a perfect example of this.
So I started color matching from her brows to her roots. It is, right? In here.
It's pretty. Now that is a proud lash tech. She is literally customizing lashes for her clients. This girl has red hair. They're probably not black. I didn't really see them that well there, but like they're probably like a more of a brown for her, because that would be way too hard on a redhead.
Not only does she do great work, but she customizes the sets down to the hair color, the eye shape. If you're able to provide a custom set, I will go get my lashes done again. Like, for two, I'm never coming out of pocket $200 for a lash set. That brings me to my next point. As a licensed esthetician, I will be offering a subscription service or something along those lines. Hear me out. Okay? X amount a month, you get a full lash set, 2 fills, or waxing. You get where I'm going with this? It comes with something more than just lashes. Something paired with the lashes. Now we talking. Now you have a regular customer, which brings in consistent income, because I'm coming back for that. I'm paying my subscription fee where it makes sense. You hear what I'm saying? Yes, everything is expensive. Yes, people rather DIY, but that's not everybody in the whole entire world. Just got to switch up the marketing. Of course, you got to be able to market this properly and go about it the correct way. But this is just the base of everything. Look, I'm just giving you, take it.
Okay, so this one obviously had music or something, but I wanted to show you the technique of how well and how teeny tiny the lashes are to do a good job. You really have to be down in there and clean them up and do them, and look how nice they look. They look normal, natural. That's the other thing. You know, to do them more, to make them look more natural is far more classy, and they look nice and everything. But you could see how she took the detail of doing all these little things, and you know, you have to do that. That was another reason why I never wanted to be a lash tech either. Not that, you know, I don't even get lashes, and I'll tell you in just a moment why. But you know, I remember in school, one girl, she was making a killing, if you will, that our teacher was talking about from a previous student about a year or two ago prior. And she was like, yeah, she's making a killing. She makes good money being a lash tech. But she's like, but she's getting like, I don't know what they call them, like cortisol shots or something, some sort of shot in her back, because she has so much pain in her back, because she's always hunched over doing lashes all day long. And I just remember thinking, that's just not worth the money. I don't care. You can't pay me enough money. Being in pain, like at a young age, I'm sure this lady is at least in her 20s or 30s, maybe in her 40s. I don't know who this girl was. But even if you're at the latest of being 40, you still have a lot of years ahead of you. And frankly, to be in pain for the rest of your life, and sometimes the medication doesn't even work anymore. Like, you have to keep getting dosages that are higher and higher and higher, and then when that doesn't work, they might have to switch to something else, and now you're addicted to something because you're just trying to stay out of pain. And I'm almost wondering if she has or ever is gonna regret, like, even though she made good money, it just wasn't really worth it, you know? So, you know, doing lashes was not really something that I found valuable as far as doing them myself, like being the tech myself. And just, it wasn't my passion either, by the way. And just the amount of like, just, I don't really care for them. And I know some girls don't really have long lashes. God blessed me with long lashes, and I recognize that. And I don't want to, the minute you try to enhance by putting on false lashes or anything like that, your natural instinct of what God gave you naturally all of a sudden just falls below the standard. You start liking your longer lashes that are man-made, that you're purchasing. And I didn't want to be attached to that. I wanted to appreciate what I was given, because I know some girls would kill for my lashes. So I just wanted, I didn't want to do that. So I wouldn't, if that's not my passion, and if I don't believe that that's accurate or right, then I'm not going to be a lash tech. And that was another reason why I never cared to do this. And I kind of find it's kind of silly as we've kind of looked over how much it costs, just the lifestyle you have to live, the pillows, the don't go into a sauna, you know, none of these things. And if you are, that's probably why your lashes are falling off, by the way. And if they're not, I don't know, maybe you've got super glue for sure on them. I don't know. So yeah, so this girl, she apparently, my computer screen is actually kind of far away. So it's hard for me to read this because otherwise I'm going to be like this all day and I don't want to be like that on camera. So I'm trying to like keep it and it's kind of far away. I don't have another desk right here. First of all, these lashes, I don't even like them. No one has lashes like this. This is not a natural look. No one has thick caterpillar lashes. And so as she says, she's like cutting them off because the lady's like, she wasn't willing to pay for her prices or something. I don't know what it says there. It's just kind of hard to see. And so before she walks out, she's like, all right, well then we'll just take, and she didn't want them being taken off. So she's like, well, you're not walking out of my shop with the service I just gave you. So she's just going to cut them off. She's going to walk out like that. I don't know. That was weird. That was really weird. This girl, I think, was trying to take a freebie on her, but no, you're not going to do that. That's the other thing. It's just some people are just low. It's low life. And that's why she's like, well, if you're not going to let me take them off, I'm going to be cutting them off. I'm going to make them look really trashy. Why? Just let her take them off then. Have fun doing it at home. Now, granted, as we've seen, so many of them fall off anyway, but maybe her technique is better. I don't know.
Nobody else is gonna tell y'all this, but I will. My name is Damani, retired lash artist here. I was doing lashes for 3.5 years leading up into my retirement. And here's a glimpse at my work before we start.
They're okay.
Because heavy on the girls' work is declining. The girls are no longer focused on honing in on the craft and mastering the skill. They are instead trying to be internet influencers instead of being what they initially signed up for, which is a service provider. Now, that's no tea, no shade, and it's nothing against anyone scaling their business and using the internet for that. But I'm mainly speaking on the girls who've only been in the industry for about a year or two or even less, and the furthest thing on their mind is mastering their craft, offering good quality products, educating themselves so that client retention can be superb. Nope, all they care about is getting on the internet and using a trending sound to try to go viral and sell some shit. But
yep. You ready for this one? This client came in for a fill from a previous artist. She said it'd be really fast. She just needed a few lashes on the ends. But when I took a closer look, this is what I saw. Cluster lashes caked in glue and tons of damage. I told her we would need to do a removal and a full set, but once I got these off, I realized she just had too much damage. So I suggested that she take a break from lashes. I told her my full set prices, and she said she would take a break but would probably go back to the same girl as before because she was cheap and fast.
Yeah, which isn't cool. So this one I wanted to just quickly show you the technique. We've already looked at the fine detail, and here I wanted to show you more on, just look at how you have to do. Then she has to blow dry them or whatever, and then pull out more lashes. So she's doing 3 layers. Now I don't know if they all do, well, good technique, good lash techs will do things like this. Again, it depends on what you are buying and what you want, but for the most part, you know, this is good technique. It's clean. You didn't even see the glue, let alone look at what you're seeing here. Look at that. They're like caked in glue, and you didn't even like see the glue on the other girl when she was doing the 3 layers of her lashes. It's just completely caked. And yet this girl's gonna go back, and this is why she has damage to her natural lashes, which if you have damage to your natural lashes, not only is that not healthy, but what are you gonna stick the lashes on if there's barely any lashes left? And that's what she said. You need to take a break, let them grow back. You know, you've lost a lot of natural lashes within the fake lashes. They're just falling off because they don't like it. Not to mention, fun fact, did you know that you have a little spider in each and every little lash? Yeah, that's fun. So we're gonna go back, because this one, like I said, I wanted to show you back to this one that we were looking at, just the clean effort. And this is how it should have looked, give or take. I mean, granted, different lashes that she may have put on. This is not the same girl, the same lash tech, I don't think. It might be, but I don't think so. But But look how clean it is. That's what it should have looked. Yeah, we saw this cake, just all this caking of the glue, and see how when she pulls them out, they just come out, like, in a sense, like there's you rarely see any glue, and that's clean. Now here's where we're going to get into the famous caterpillar lashes. Not my thing. There's a whole, I don't know, style preference, I guess, to this and these. I don't know. It is just, I mean, if you are one of those that do it, whatever, okay, fine. I'm not trying to be a jerk. I'm just telling you, my opinion, and I can have an opinion. You can have yours, but why are you spending money that doesn't even look natural? So let me see here. This is where we're going to talk about, come on. I mean, it doesn't even look real. I mean, look at this. Look at this. You want feathers? And they're already falling off.
They look like caterpillars. Can you see?
Yes.
I mean, they fluffy. They look like the little fluffy stuff on them slides. Like,
yeah.
Can you see?
You can already tell some of them were so heavy.
Can you?
I don't know. It's just,
I love this set on her because it actually brings out her eyes. This is exactly
it does
what
not bring out her
wanted.
eyes.
She loved wearing her lashes very full, dramatic, waist.
Here, real quickly. Does it look like it brought out her eyes? No. You're just seeing these lashes. You're seeing butterflies. You're not even seeing her. See, that's just it. Beauty. We're trying to bring attention to your natural beauty. I want to see your eyes. I want to see the color of your eyes. I want them to look bright and happy, cheery and youthful. That's the point of beauty. And then we get into businesses or products or whatever it is that they don't enhance it. They're just more of a distraction from it. It's like, here, don't look at my eyes. I'm just going to but all you can do is be like, what the heck is she wearing? I know that's what I mean, how does this girl even take care of her lashes? I can't even take her seriously. I'm sorry. If you're one of those people that like this stuff, fine, you do you, but I'm trying to tell you that no one's looking at your eyes. They're looking at the distraction of lashes at this point.
Uniform and long. To achieve this look, I did use my brand Technique Lash Trap, lash trays, and lash supplies. I use my 0.03 lash trays to make wider fan, meaning I only cover the first 2 layers of her lashes, so it gives me a fuller look quickly. The end result, as you can see, my client loves her lashes. She can see she doesn't have an infection, and she's happy. Yes, I do normal lashes. It all depends on what
those aren't normal though,
and their specific needs and requests. As you can see, this client, she doesn't really like her lashes too full, but in between, and it is giving everything you can think of.
Looking for a new lash style this year, or wanting to stand out from the crowd? Then look no further.
Baby, if you haven't booked me, you're missing out, because I bet you your lash tech cannot do lashes like me. When your client looking for
I wouldn't want to have a lash tech that could do that.
This is the outcome of using my 0.03 lash trays, always full. Anyways, so I use my P-Talk lash trays for this lash set and my cruelty-free 0.3 lash trays.
It's just too much.
Mega volume lash adhesive and my 2 favorite lash tweezers.
Oh, here we go. They're like fully curled too. Like she's got curlers under them or something. I don't know. It's distracting. I'm looking at your lashes. I'm not looking at you at all. And I think she's trying to, I can't remember why she's taking all that off. I think it was this girl where it's like they still look fake. I don't really like them. But they actually didn't look as horrible as it did on the other girls. I think that's what I don't know why I was putting this in there. I can't even remember why. But at first I thought, oh, here we go. And then it doesn't look that bad on her. And I don't know why it doesn't, but it still doesn't look great that much, but it's not as bad as it was on the others. So I just thought I'd bring that up, be like, okay, still doesn't look natural or normal or anything. A little distracting still, but it's not as distracting. That's what I think I'm trying to say. It's not as distracting as it was for the other girls. So she's just having her model them a little. It was a long one, I didn't realize, okay. That's the natural look. I do believe that this is the natural look that most girls are going to be going for more often. Now, still, the caterpillar lashes and the whole fluffy deals, butterflies, and the colors that are going through some of these, people are still going to buy them, people are still going to want them, people are still going to do them, you know. But I think if anyone is going to, since they're going out of style, which yes and no, it has a lot to do with everything that we've talked about, from not just the cost, but just the expectation and the bad service that you get and the lack of technique. So if you're a lash tech and you think your business is falling apart and you're having to go back to a normal 9 to 5, let's see, it probably was your technique. You needed to hone your technique. The other part to it is that were you being disrespectful to your clients? Were you not, were you just taking their money and running off with it, saying, oh, no, you did this and that? That's not a good service. That's not a good feeling for the client. They are not coming back. It is very hard to get one person to trust you and be a loyal customer and keep coming back. That's where your business is your consistency of clients coming back. Now, again, I don't really care about lashes. I personally, I don't feel like they're worthy of paying the money or spending the time, let alone moving somewhere or whatever, or my lash girl moves and now I gotta figure out who's gonna be good and find out I have a lousy experience and lost like $200-300 and still have to, it's just too much money, I feel. Anyways, that's just my opinion. If you do them or your lash tech, like I said, listen to this, understand it more, and look at what's going on. And one girl gave some information earlier about maybe adding more services to it. Maybe that'll work. Maybe that'll work for some clients. Maybe they'll enjoy that. But I can't say that that's what's going to save most businesses. I really do believe part of it, like maybe a third of it, is the cost part and the time part. But I think the rest of it really was the technique. Very few women really take this seriously and are very, they want to give a good service. They want to do a good job. They care a lot about their work and they want to make you happy. If you never had that feeling and it was just to make money, that is your problem right there. And before we end today, in this series, I always want to add a little joke to it.
Sorry, who's calling me? Anal? Oh, don't worry. It's short for Annalise.
So thank you again for joining me here at Contour Image. I really do appreciate it, and thank you for your patience with me on my videos and everything. And I'm planning on, again, like I said, making this a new series called Beauty Talk, and we're going to be talking about a whole bunch of different beauty angles of things. And of course, the lashes happen to be my first one. So I hope you enjoyed it, and thank you so much again. And remember to stay beautiful for life.